It's the 8-4 Chiefs and the 10-2 Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday afternoon, the rematch of last year's AFC title game. And to help us break this one down, we're bringing in the big guns and Yahoo Sports senior NFL writer Terez Paylor. Terez, what's going on, man?
My man, BJ, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited about this game, and I'm happy to be on this with you. You know that.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Love talking football with you. And the first one, there's no lack of storylines in this game. But is it fair to say, based on what happened with the Patriots last week and their loss to the Texans, and everything being said by the national media about this Patriots team, there's not a team in the league that is more no one respects us, and we're going to use that as fuel more than the Patriots. We saw it early in the season with some of the comments from Kyle Van Noy about their defense. But is it fair to say that whatever this version of the Patriots team is this year, the Chiefs are going to see the best version of that team on Sunday?
I think there's a good chance of that, but I think there's an even greater chance you see that in January if you have to face them. We've seen the Patriots so often, BJ, where they get beat during the regular season a few times, and we think, I don't know about Brady. But then when it really matters, they morph kind of into like what they're the best at. So we're gonna learn a lot about both teams in this game. But no matter what happens, I think you kind of gotta respect the fact that there's also a reasonable chance we see a better Patriots team in a month or so. So you better improve with them.
Yeah, and the games that the Patriots have lost that people have kind of picked on and looked at, and you look at the numbers, they are what they are. They've won football games. Those two losses are both on the road. Those didn't come in Foxborough. And at Foxborough, they've won 18 straight games. But when you do look at the course of their entire season and some of the teams that they'd play, that first 8 weeks, they didn't play an offense that currently ranks in the top 20 in the league. And the two teams that have had success against them, the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans, the common denominator for them are Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, two of the best young quarterbacks in the league. And a good thing for the Chiefs is they've got one of those guys too. And those are also the only two teams that have scored more than 14 points against the Patriots, and the Patriots lost both of those games. Now, numbers are what they are, but what are you looking forward to most in this matchup when you're talking about the Chiefs offense and Andy Reid against Bill Belichick and the Patriots defense?
I'm looking for efficiency from the offense, and I also think we have to remember that the most important thing is that you protect Patrick Mahomes, right? He's dealt with some injuries this year. I mean, to be honest, I believe the Chiefs' offense is good enough that it'll put up points in January when it matters, as long as Mahomes is healthy. So it doesn't really matter to me that they look at their absolute best this week. I think this team is winning the division. It's fine. It's protecting Patrick. That has to be the focus. And not using up all your good stuff this week either, because you might face this team again in January. So, you got to hold some stuff back. And I know in the all or nothing NFL, it's any given Sunday, you try to win every week, but there's winning the battle and there's winning the war. And no one's better at winning the war than the Patriots. So you kind of have to make sure that you're doing the same game planning wise. You're not throwing everything you got at them this week, because if you're going to get to the Super Bowl, there's a pretty good chance that the road there is going to go through Foxborough one way or another.
It always has. One of the stats that we've looked up, I remember saying this last year, in 356 now career games that Bill Belichick has coached, his defenses have allowed 40 or more points just 7 times. 3 of those 7 have been Andy Reid with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're Bill Belichick, put that hat on, how do you try and slow down or attack this version of the Chiefs offense right now?
It starts with Tyreek Hill. You got to wipe him out. And that's doable. They have a couple options there. They can either just put Stephon Gilmore on him, the best corner in football, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, doesn't talk a whole lot. If he had a huge personality, he'd be respected. I mean, he's better than Jalen Ramsey. So they could just stick him on Tyreek Hill, or they could stick him on Watkins, completely wipe him out, and then double up Ty Hill, which is a pretty decent option. And then the number 2 thing you're probably going to want to do is take away Kelsey. So at that point, you force the Chiefs to have to win the game through the run game, passing to the running backs, or going to the other receiving options. I think that's probably the best option to beat this team. But I think that's why it's going to be so fascinating to see if they even do it, because they know they might face Kansas City again when it matters. So this game's going to be really fascinating to study from a football perspective when it's over.
Yeah, when you look at this Patriots offense, to go to that side of the ball, and you see what Tom Brady, and there's been a lot made in the media and different breakdowns out there about his frustration with this group of receivers outside of Julian Edelman. And I just treat James White as a receiver because he's the second leading.
Because he's a receiver.
He's basically a receiver that comes out of the backfield. But what's your take on this Patriots offense and where they stand right now?
Yeah, they have some issues. They do have some issues. I encourage you guys watching to please go to Yahoo Sports or go to my Twitter and find my latest Terez's Tape segment where I spent 5 minutes breaking down the biggest issues with the Patriots offense. And I'm not going to step over it, but it's going to come down to, can the third receiving option in the Patriots offense make a play? Brady was yelling at Jacoby Myers, who's a rookie, in that video. And you can see on tape how when teams take away Edelman, if they had another guy like Antonio Brown, there wouldn't be any stopping this offense. But they're missing that consistent deep threat that makes the right side adjustments and can win deep every level. If they have that, this offense would be difficult to stop. And because they don't have it, you can kind of get pressure on Brady. You're not going to sack him a lot, but you can hit him.
And that's different. That's different than what it's been.
There's ways to do it, right? You don't even have to always run stunts in games to do it, BJ.
And that's different than it's been. That offensive line has always been a staple of that team. And also, it's a group that never got enough credit for what they did because all the talk was always about Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and all that, that Trent Brown and going back to Nate Soldier and those guys, they did a good job protecting Brady throughout the years. Now let's flip to the other side of the football. Just what's your take on what you've seen from the Chiefs defense the last couple of games?
I love the Badger, man. I love how invested he is in this team and willing to lead and kind of leading from the front. And he does it in the locker room too. He talks to the media, he's there, he understands he's the face of the defense. And I appreciate that. I get that. He's been a huge addition to this defense. And it's nice to see the Chiefs defense, not just winning the red zone, but they're not necessarily just going to concede the 20 to the 20.
Yeah.
The aggression's been good to see. The shift in defensive philosophy has been good to see. They got a bunch of big guys that can run up front. I like that. That's fun to me. In general, I like the way the defense is trending. I do think they still have a lot to prove, right? Will this continue when it matters, right? We're not that far away from that Titans game when everyone's freaking out. So this is a big week for them too, right? Because the Patriots offense is proven to be a little vulnerable. And if the Patriots go out and put up a big number, all the positive things we kind of talked about will be thrown into question. So this is a big week. I do think they need to have a good week.
And right now, before we let you go, I'm going to give you an opportunity to give us your prediction for Sunday. Chiefs-Patriots, who do you got?
I mean, it's a coin flip game. I will answer it. It is a coin flip game. And I'll actually pick the Chiefs because they've shown an ability to go in there and win. And I feel like winning this game is a little more important to them than maybe the Patriots because they're 8-4. But that's a coin flip because it depends on if the Patriots feel like they got to get home field advantage to get to the Super Bowl. And if they do, you will get a better game plan from them than normal, and that's going to make things difficult. But I'll go with the Chiefs because I think they do want to show something. I'm sure the AFC Championship game loss is really kind of sticking there. So I'm going to go with them. I think it'll be close. It'd be by 3 or something like that. But that's a coin flip. That could easily go the other way depending on how hard New England game plans for this.
Yeah, I think anybody who follows that you're not saying that just because you're on a Chiefs channel right now, that is your opinion and what you think is going on. And we know
early this year I picked against them. So.
That's true. And we also know that the fact that Buffalo is right on their heels, Buffalo's schedule is about to get a lot more difficult. And then obviously Baltimore taking care of business against the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe have changed the game if you're looking at that point of view for this game for the Patriots if they're trying to get one of those, or that number 1 seed or even the number 2 seed now that Baltimore's in there. But Terez, we appreciate it. We will catch up with you later in the season, but I appreciate you joining us here.
Anytime, BJ. Thanks, man.